Hello students, welcome to our channel SD Biology classes. In my last video, I have discussed about the complex permanent tissue. The type of tissue that I have discussed, it is xylem. We have learnt the different types of, that means different components of the xylem tissue, and also we have learnt about the function of those components. Today we are going to know about another type of complex permanent tissue that is called as the phloem. It is another part of the vascular bundle. So let's start it. Students, today our learning objectives are the phloem tissue, its components and the function of the different components of the phloem tissue, the differences between two types of complex permanent tissue, that is xylem and phloem. We will also learn about the differences between the sieve cell and the sieve tube element, and the most important part of the video, that is the assignment. So one by one we will know all the parts of the lesson. So student, first of all we will know about the phloem tissue and different components of the phloem tissue. The term phloem was coined by Nageli. The term phloem was coined by Nageli, and on the basis of the origin of phloem tissue, we can get mainly two types of phloem tissue. First one is known as the primary phloem, and the second one is secondary phloem. So, what is primary phloem? The phloem that is formed during the seedling stage or during the primary growth of the plant from the procambium, that is known as the primary phloem. And the secondary phloem, mainly we can see during the secondary growth of the plant, and it is developed from the vascular cambium. So this is the two types of phloem tissue on the basis of its origin. Now we will talk about the different members of the phloem tissue. What are the different members of the phloem tissue? Mainly it has four different members: the sieve element, companion cell, phloem parenchyma and phloem fiber. The sieve element again is of two types or consists of two types of cells. What are those? Sieve cell and sieve tube. Now all these members are not present in all types of plant body. We can see that from the Pteridophyta, that is Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm and Angiosperm, all these three group of plant bear the vascular tissue, but they do not have all these components of the phloem tissue. So which components are present in which type of or which group of plant? First of all, we will see that in the lower group of plants, that means from where the vascular tissues start developing, that is in case of Pteridophyta and also in case of Gymnosperm. Mainly the sieve element is present as the sieve cell. So what are the different phloem components are present in the Pteridophyta? In Pteridophyta, only the sieve cell and the companion cells are present. So in Pteridophyta we can see sieve cell and companion cell. Whereas in case of Gymnosperm, they contain the phloem tissue, but which components of the phloem tissue are present in the Gymnosperm? Only the sieve cell, phloem parenchyma and the phloem fiber. That means companion cells are absent in case of Gymnosperm. Now if we talk about the Angiosperm, that is the higher group of plant. In case of Angiosperm, we can see the Angiosperm are mainly of two types: the monocotyledonous Angiosperm or monocotyledonous plant and the dicotyledonous plant. In case of monocot, the sieve element, or in case of Angiosperm, the sieve element is present as the sieve tube. So in case of monocot plant, what are the different members of the phloem tissues are present? The sieve tube, and the companion cell. But in case of dicot plant, sieve tube, companion cells, phloem parenchyma as well as phloem fiber. All the four members are present in case of dicot. In case of angiosperm, mainly dicotyledonous angiosperm. So from here we are getting the idea that phloem tissues are present in all the vascular plants in Pteridophyta, Gymnosperm and Angiosperm, but their components differ from one group of plants to another group of plants. So students, here I have told you that the one of the member of the phloem tissue is sieve element, and sieve element consists of two another member, sieve cells and sieve tube element or sieve tube. Now the sieve cells are mainly present in the Pteridophyta and the Gymnosperm. So there are mainly some differences between sieve cell and the sieve tube cells. So what are the differences, or what are the features of the sieve cell and the sieve tube element? First of all, sieve cell that is present in Pteridophyta as well as in Gymnosperm. They are very similar to the trachea cell. They are also very similar to the trachea cell. They are narrow, elongated cell. They are narrow, elongated cell. They have prominent nuclei as well as they also have the little amount of cytoplasm. And in the end wall, there is no sieve plate. So sieve plate is absent. Sieve plate is absent. Remember, sieve plate is absent. Sieve plate is absent in case of sieve cell. In the end wall, sieve plate is absent in the sieve cell. But if we see the sieve tubes are broad, elongated tube-like cell. They are broad, elongated tube-like cell. They arranged one after another in a longitudinal row. Arranged one after another in a longitudinal row. And the end walls have many perforation, and the end walls that make the perforation, it makes, or sieve-like perforations are present in the end wall. Sieve-like perforations are present. Due to this sieve-like perforation, this end wall is called as the sieve plate. So in case of sieve tube, we can see that the end wall have the sieve plate, but in case of sieve cell, the end walls do not have the sieve plate. This is one of the main difference between sieve cell and sieve tube element. Another difference is that the sieve cells shape, it is narrow, elongated cells, whereas the sieve tubes are the broad, elongated tube-like cells which are arranged in a longitudinal row. Later on, we will know about some other characteristic features of the sieve tube. Okay students, now we will know about the characteristic features of the two most important components of the phloem tissue, that is the sieve tube elements and the companion cells. First of all, the cells of the phloem tissue, that is sieve tube components, companion cell, most of the cases all the members are made up of the living cell. So here also the sieve tube elements, they are living, and the cell wall is thin, and the cell wall is mainly made up of cellulose. Inside the cell, the cytoplasm is present with large vacuole. But see, here we have the diagram also. You cannot see, you can see the cytoplasm here, but you cannot see any nucleus. So in the sieve tube, though it is the living cell, but the cytoplasm is present, but it lacks the nucleus. So remember that though it is a living cell, it lacks nucleus. And the end walls, this is the end walls. End walls have sieve plate. What is this sieve plate? In the end walls we get perforations, and this perforation make sieve-like appearance. Perforation that make sieve-like appearance. This sieve-like appearance that present in the end wall due to perforation in the end wall, this is called as the sieve plate. So the end wall of the sieve tube elements or the sieve tube have the sieve plate. So these are the basic feature of the sieve tube elements. But how can we distinguish the companion cell and the sieve tube element? Remember that the phloem tissue, they have the companion cell and also they have the sieve tube elements. The companion cell, from the name you can understand very well, they are present closely attached to the sieve tube elements. Here you can see from the diagram also, these are the companion cells which are closely just situated just after the sieve tube. And why they are present in this type of arrangement? Because in case of companion cell, you can see that they also have cytoplasm, and in addition to cytoplasm, they also have their own nuclei. So the nuclei of the companion cell regulate the function of the sieve tube also. So what are the other features of the companion cell? First of all, like sieve tube elements, here also the companion cells, they have also thin walled cells, they are also living, and parenchymatous cells, that is the cell of the companion cells, they are mainly parenchymatous in nature. Remember that they have their own nucleus and granular cytoplasm. They have their own nucleus and granular cytoplasm. They are associated with sieve tube, and as they have their own nucleus, they control the function of the sieve tube also. So the companion cell remain attached to the sieve tube element, and also they are having their own nucleus that control the function of the sieve tube element. So we have learnt about the sieve tube elements and the companion cell, and also we get some differences between these two components of the phloem tissue. Now we will talk about another two components of the phloem tissue. So students, another two components of the phloem tissue, that is phloem parenchyma and the phloem fiber. Here in case of xylem, we have seen that most of the three components, that is trachete, vessel and xylem fiber, these three components are dead. Only the xylem parenchyma is the living member of the xylem tissue. But here we can see that sieve tube or the sieve element, the companion cell, as well as the phloem parenchyma, another member phloem parenchyma, these three are the living cells. Only the dead member of the phloem tissue is the phloem fiber. So most of the members of the phloem tissue are made up of the living cell. So phloem parenchyma are the living cell, whereas phloem fiber are dead cells. So what type of cells, or what type of mainly it is made up of which type of cells, or what are the features of it? It is elongated thin walled. The phloem parenchyma, from the name you can understand the mainly parenchymatous tissues are present in the phloem tissue that make the phloem parenchyma. So as the features of parenchymatous tissue, we know that the cell wall is thin and the cells are elongated. So here also we are getting the same features of the phloem parenchyma. Whereas the phloem fibers, they are mainly made up of the sclerenchymatous cells. And as they are sclerenchymatous tissues, the cells of the sclerenchymatous tissues are dead. So here also the phloem fiber is the dead member of the phloem tissue. So their cell wall is comparatively thicker than the phloem parenchyma because it is made up of sclerenchymatous cells, and as they have the thick cell wall, they can give the mechanical support to the phloem tissue. Whereas the function of the phloem parenchyma is it stores food and other substances like resin, latex, etc. So main function of the phloem parenchyma is the storage of different food substances, as well as they can store different substances like resin and latex. And the main function of the phloem fiber is to give the mechanical support to the phloem tissue. So these are the another two components of the phloem tissue. So students, till now we have learnt about the different components of the phloem tissue, and also in the last video we have learnt about the different components of the xylem tissue, and we have learnt their functions also. Now what is the main function of the phloem tissue? The main function of phloem tissue is the conduction of food materials from the leaf to different parts of the plant. Now we are getting some differences between the phloem and the xylem tissue, two types of complex permanent tissue. So let's see. First of all, the xylem tissue occupies the center of the vascular bundle. We have learnt that they make the vascular bundle, and in the vascular bundle they present at the center part. So at the center part, mainly the xylem tissue present at the center part. That means if we see a plant body, mainly the stem region also, we can see that in the outer surface the phloem tissues are present, whereas the xylem tissue is present at the center part of the vascular bundle. That's why it is told that xylem tissues are present in the center part of the vascular bundle, whereas phloem is located on the outer side of the vascular bundle. So in the outer surface phloem tissues are present, and at the center part of the plant body or center part of the vascular bundle the xylem tissues are present. So what are the different components of the xylem tissue and the phloem tissue? The components of xylem tissues are trachea vessel element, xylem parenchyma, xylem sclerenchyma or xylem fibers, and the components of the phloem tissue, just now we have learnt it. Now when we have studied the components of the xylem tissue, we have learnt that most of the members, that out of these four members, the trachea vessel and the xylem fiber, all these three are the dead cells. That's why the xylem is called as the dead tissue, whereas in case of phloem tissue, all the members like sieve tube, companion cell and the phloem parenchyma are the living cells. That's why it is also called as the living tissue. Now what is the function of the xylem tissue? It transports soluble mineral nutrients and water molecules from the roots to the aerial parts of the plant. So simply from roots, the root hair absorb the water and minerals, and through the xylem tissue it is transported up to the leaves where the food is prepared. Now the food is prepared in the leaf. Now by the help of the phloem tissue, the food that is prepared in the leaf, it is transported to the different parts of the plant body. But not only the food materials, it includes the sugar and the amino acid, and the sugar and amino acid in the soluble form is transported from the leaves to the growing region of the plants, that is to the leaf tip, to the shoot tip as well as to the root tip portion. Now if we consider the xylem fiber and the phloem fiber, we can see that the xylem fiber are comparatively smaller than the phloem fiber. Okay, the xylem fiber cells are comparatively smaller than the phloem fiber. This is another difference we get between xylem and the phloem tissue. It is responsible for replacing the total amount of lost water molecules through transpiration and photosynthesis. Till now, in earlier classes, we have also learned that in photosynthesis, plants need water. So, due to the conduction of water, water is absorbed by the root hairs, but the water should send to the water should be carried to the leaf where the food is prepared. So, by the process of the photosynthesis. So photosynthesis needs water molecules. Due to the presence of the xylem tissue, the water molecules that is absorbed by the root hair can be sent to the leaf where the photosynthesis is possible by the help of the water, carbon dioxide, sunlight and in presence of chlorophyll. So for this reason, water conduction through the xylem tissue is very much important. And another phenomena that happens within the plant body, that is the transpiration. Transpiration is the water loss or loss of excess water through Stomata, loss of excess water through stomata. Stomata are the small opening present in the lips. So the water is given out from the stomata in the form of the water vapor, and this process is known as the transpiration. So there is this water scarcity in the leaf, and this scarcity can be fulfilled as the water is conducted through the xylem tissue from the root to the leaves. In case of phloem tissue, we have learnt that it helps in the conduction of food materials and amino acid, and also it helps in the transporting of the proteins throughout the plant body. Protein that is synthesized in the plant body, that is translocated with the food elements in the soluble form from one part to the another part of the plant body through the phloem tissue. This is another function of the phloem tissue in addition to the transportation of the food materials. Now, till now, I do not have discussed it that through the xylem tissue, the water and minerals are conducted from root to the leaves, from root to the leaves where the food is prepared. So it is always in a unidirectional way. The transportation through the xylem tissue is always in a unidirectional way. But in case of phloem tissue, in the leaf the food is prepared, and all the parts of the plant body need the food. So the food that is prepared in the leaf, it is transported to the flower. It is also transported towards the root. So in case of phloem tissue, the transportation is bidirectional. From the leaf it can go in upward direction, also it can come in the downward direction, because all parts of the plant body need the food materials. So these are the basic differences between xylem and the phloem tissue. So students, here we have the most important part of the video, that is the assignment portion. It consists of some important questions based on the phloem tissue. Practice it at your home. So students, till now we have learnt about the different type of tissues that are present in the plant body. But we are the human beings, we are belonging to the animal. So we have some curiosity that what are the types of tissues are present in our body also. In the next video, we will know about that. Thank you.